Okay, so we'll start. It's 7 p.m. Welcome to the City of Manistee Planning Commission, May 2nd, 2024. Please rise for the pledge.
Sure.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Please take roll.
Commissioner Szymanski,
Roll. Present?
Commissioner Yoder,
Hello? Yes.
Commissioner Weiner,
Oh, you didn't?
Commissioner Memberto. Here. Commissioner McBride,
Here.
Vice Chair Slavinsky is not here yet, and Chair Whitliff.
Here. Thank you.
Complete.
Approval of agenda. At this time, the Planning Commission can take action to approve the May 2nd, 2024 agenda. Is there a motion?
I'll make that motion.
Motion by Shelley, second
I'll second it.
by Marlene.
Marlene?
Any discussion? None. Please take roll.
Commissioner Szymanski,
Yes.
Commissioner Yoder,
Yes.
Commissioner Weiner,
Yes.
Commissioner Memberto,
Yes.
Commissioner McBride,
Yes.
Chair Whitliff.
Yes, thank
Motion
you.
passed.
Thank you for that. Conflict of interest. Is there any member that has any conflict of what's on the agenda tonight?
Not me?
None?
Negative.
All right, very good. Thank you. Approval of minutes. At this time, the Planning Commission can approve the April 4th, 2024 meeting minutes.
Oh, yeah.
Is there a motion?
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Motion by Shelley, second by Mick. Discussion? None? Please take roll.
Commissioner Szymanski,
Yes.
Commissioner Yoder,
Yes.
Commissioner Weiner,
Yes.
Commissioner Memberto,
Yes.
Commissioner McBride,
Yes.
Chair Whitliff.
Yes, thank
Motion
you.
passed.
Correspondence? Have any correspondence?
None at this time.
Good, thank you. Presentations, Sammy of the visitors. No, I'm not going to attempt it.
Come on, it's just as it's spelled.
So, okay, Sammy,
Hello, I'm Sammy Lukaskevitz
there you go.
from the Manistee County Tourism Authority. I said, I guess, a few months ago when I was here that I'd come back frequently and give you updates periodically of what's going on, because what you do affects tourism. So some of this might be new information for you, but it might be old, but it's always a nice reminder every now and then. But I'm from the Tourism Authority. We're a full-time staff of one, that's me. And I've got two part-timers, Sherry Protashevitz. We like Polish last names. And also Jerry Simon, who's married to a guy named Kolanowski. So
Oh, yeah, you got trifecta.
we're an international group. But I'm always thrilled to come by and tell you what's going on with tourism. My group's led by a board of directors. We're a 501c6 that represents a cross-section of hotels, attractions, and restaurants from all over Manistee County. We're funded by a 5% assessment collected by hotels with 10 rooms or more. That's part of a state law called Public Act 59. And we also have some voluntary members who don't have 10 rooms, and we have several short-term rental properties who also collect and remit the assessment. My job is really to promote Manistee as a year-round destination, and I love it. I think I have the best job in the county. It's fun and it's easy to do what I do. And this is a little bit of what I get to promote. money to stay with us and get to experience all that, and we get to live here year-round. So we're all very lucky. I knew Laura was going to have to save me on that one.
Is that you talking or is that the video?
That was her.
That's me. So our tourism impact, these numbers are from 2022. We should have 2023 numbers from the state here in the next couple of months. And I anticipate that 2023 numbers are going to be better than this. But we had roughly about 704,865 people visit us in 2022. And that equates to about $142 million in spending. There's also about 971 jobs as a result of tourism. And those numbers are also probably off because they don't include the casino. But tourism is a pretty important industry here. We draw markets from all over the state and really the country, but our main markets are Grand Rapids, Detroit, Kalamazoo, Flint, Saginaw, and then out-of-state markets, Chicago, Indianapolis, Toledo, and South Bend. That spending by category is also pretty impressive. Recreation is our #1 industry here. That does include casino numbers though. So the state classifies the casino as recreation. So we do have that, but also retail, lodging of course. And we only have 1,100 hotel rooms in Manistee County, at least that are assessed hotel rooms. There's a few other one-offs, but for the most part, there's about 1,100 hotel rooms. And also transportation. You'll see some of these numbers higher in other counties because they have a Home Depot or a Lowe's or things like that for retail. So this retail for our county is actually pretty good given we have smaller type of destination shopping. And then the bulk of our guests who stay here are in-state guests who spend the night. The next up is out-of-state guests who spend the night here. And the average length of stay is roughly about 3 days once they come in. So some other interesting little data points, and these are from 2023, but about 69% of travelers to Manistee County are return visitors. 33% of those book about 30 days in advance. So they're making last minute decisions. We're equating that to just where the economy is right now. People are concerned about things, and I attended a webinar the other day about election year travel tends to decrease. So, you know, people just get a little concerned about the economy, and certainly some of the prices are reflecting that. But the guests who come to Manistee, 60% are seeking something to do outdoors, and 54% want unique and local dining experiences. In checking some of our booking data for this upcoming summer, July and August are always our busiest months. I mean, you can tell just seeing the traffic out on the streets. But June and September are filling in nicely. For September, a lot of the fill-in is probably because of the Ironman in Frankfurt, so we're seeing some spillover from that. In June, it's probably Total Archery Challenge that's taking place at Crystal Mountain. So some of our outlying communities are actually helping drive tourism here as well. Many of you have probably seen a sample of some of the work that we did and that we continually do. You have the first look at this year's visitor guide. They just came in right before I got here. So you're the first to see them, and they're brand new. So they'll start hitting all the stores next week. But it was really important to me to look at all of our creative that we do and make sure everything's unified. Back before our name change, we were all over the board, from Pure Michigan, Manistee, to you name it. We are all united now under Manistee Tourism, which encompasses Manistee County, and we'll continue to print some really good pieces. I'm really excited about this one. It actually increased in page number because we had so much information that we needed to get out there. We'll print about 50,000 vacation guides and get those all over the state, and I'll get to that in a second. But I'm really having a hard time with this clicker today, I'm sorry. Some of our reach that we have with our marketing, but also with our earned media, is we are on social, we're on Google, we really promote visitmanistee.com, which redirects from visitmanisteecounty.com. And we use a company called Near to help place some of our media to ensure that we're getting in front of the right people at the right time. In all, in 2023, we had about 4.6 million people saw ads or something about Manistee County and planning their vacation here. Likewise, we do a lot of earned media, so public relations, press releases, things like that. I took PR in-house late last year because that's where I feel most comfortable. That's my wheelhouse and where I came from, was doing PR and outreach to news. But we had roughly and just under 20 million people seeing some of the websites and the news stories in 2023. And I'm super excited to help grow that in some of the markets that matter for us, like Detroit, Chicago, things like that. We're seeing those markets increase in visitors. Another great opportunity for us is First Street Beach is up for best beach in the state of Michigan. We have 19 other competitors, so if you haven't seen our posts about voting, please do so. You can vote from every device you have, once or twice a day. So every morning I'm voting with my iPad, my phone, both my computers, telling my parents and everyone else I know to vote too. So right now we were in first as of me leaving the office today and voting. And to have one of our beaches as best beach in Michigan, that's pretty impressive considering some of the beach quality that we're going up against.
Yeah, it is.
First Street Beach in particular, I mean, it's a lovely beach. When some communities are arguing over bathrooms, we've got a full-service bathroom and a concession stand and all these wonderful amenities out there, so.
Yeah, that's the truth.
And then our annual visitor guide. We had 50,000 copies printed. We're ready for a reprint if we need to, and those will be distributed throughout Michigan, Illinois, Indiana, and Ohio. And we'll probably have about 5,000 requests for the visitor guide that come in through our website to send out to them to help them plan their vacation. The other thing we did late last year was we launched our itinerary and a self-service kiosk with West Shore Community College. And what's so remarkable about that is we're able to take one of our information into the most populated area and the biggest tourist attraction, which is downtown Manistee for us. But essentially, you can go into West Shore. You don't have to come to our office at 310 First Street, crossing 31, to get there to pick up information, just to see all the things that we have here in Manistee. But when we launched our West Shore kiosk, we launched it as a temporary kiosk before we got the real deal in, which will be installed here in the next couple of weeks. But the itinerary self-service kiosk will look like that. They'll have 30 slots for our new itinerary guides, and our itinerary guides are individual attractions and adventures that guests can come and make their own adventure when they come to Manistee. So if they're only interested in going to Arcadia Dunes, they get all the things that there are to do at Arcadia Dunes, how much time you need to spend there, what the trails are, what the activities are, whether or not pets are permitted, and then there's a map on the back with all the different trails. Because people want individual adventures, and I simply don't have enough paper space to be able to print every single thing about every single attraction in there.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Likewise, we'll have an extension of our itinerary that will also house some of our niche pieces. We have been promoting historic sites in Manistee for about 10 years now. In fact, we wrote a book about it that has every historic site, all of our Victorian mansions, all of the unique buildings, all the cool things to do as far as our history goes. We worked with the tribe in writing this book and the Historical Museum to tell that story of Manistee. And to complement it is a 90-minute walking tour of all the history and the mansions and the churches and the buildings. So you can get this and in 90 minutes walk from place to place using your handy map. And there's little QR codes that you can scan your phone and see an interactive video on our website about each of those mansions. So it's pretty extensive work. Like I said, we've been promoting that for about 10 years, but worked with the USDA on a grant to help print all these books, and they're wildly popular with people to see the history of Manistee.
Now, where can you get those?
You can get those in any of our kiosks, so you can get it in the West Shore building, and soon you'll be able to get it at every hotel. So we received a grant from the state of Michigan to use for marketing purposes of our community, and we're buying kiosks for every single hotel in Manistee. So every historic sites book, every visitor guide can be in the hotel. So quickly downtown, not only can you get one at the West Shore building, you can get one at the Ramsdale, at Manistee Inn and Marina, at Riverside Inn and Marina, at the Dempsey Manor. You'll be able to pick one up. So all of our hotels downtown and throughout the county. So looking ahead to the rest of 2024, we still have a lot of work to do. When we rebranded, we have markers throughout the county that we need to rebrand. We'll continue to look at creative pieces. We'll continue to collaborate with local partners. We're working on all the self-service kiosks in all the member hotels and building out the one at West Shore. We'll have a continued focus on new markets. Chicago, like I said, is very important to us. So is Indianapolis, Toledo, and South Bend. I'm also working with MDOT and my counterparts all along M55 to name M55 as a pure Michigan outdoor recreation byway. That's an interesting process with MDOT, but that essentially assures that we would get funding for additional publicity and to promote some of the outdoor recreation assets along the highway. It will be an east-west from Tawas to Manistee, although I think the best assets are in Manistee. So Tawas can ride our coattails. But so I'll be working with all of the boards and commissions to get approval for that. If we get one board that doesn't support it, MDOT won't approve it. So we have a little bit of work to do ahead of us. And we're also going to be working on some destination development ideas. My group is always interested in helping with signage, helping to design that signage with a look and feel. Like working with Arcadia as well on some of their beach master planning and some signage around that. So we have all these great assets, but if you don't know about it, then you're using all this money for no apparent reason. So we want to tell everybody about all the great things that there are across all our entire county. And then always looking for additional storytelling ideas with amazing photography and video. And that is my quick update. Any questions?
I have a question. I loved the presentation. That was fantastic. Is that available, or could it be made available to us?
It could be, sure.
Sure.
Who did that?
I did.
Nice job.
Thank you.
Very nice, very nice.
Thank you.
Are you done?
No, if you
I'm
My
done.
question, you came up with, we had approximately 700,000 visitors.
Yes.
How would you kind of keep track of that? I mean, that's a lot of people.
It is a lot of people.
For only 4 months of a summer?
Well, it's for all year. We track cell phone data. So we've got the county of Manistee geofenced.
Oh.
So an imaginary line
Yeah.
around our county.
Yeah.
If a person comes into Manistee for 4 hours or more, then their cell phone data, I don't have their data, I don't know their names, but we track them as a person. And there's some criteria around that. One, they have to be from outside a 50-mile radius of our county, because you have to assume if somebody lives in Benzie, for example, but works in Manistee, we shouldn't count them as a visitor.
Yeah.
The other thing is they have to open their cell phone. So the chances of someone spending 4 hours anywhere and not opening their cell phone or turning on their cell phone is probably slim. So essentially, we get a sample size from the company that we work with that provides that information to us, and we know that they're a visitor to our county.
Really?
That's how we're able to also classify them as day trippers or as overnighters, is through the cell phone data, we look at where their cell phone is at night and where it is during the day, and we're able to to extrapolate where they're from.
Fantastic.
It's much smarter than I am, for sure.
Yeah, well, I mean, these hotels that are coming in, they're going through the same information for data?
If
far
they,
as-
if they ask me for data, I'm happy to provide that, as long as it's not competitor data to another hotel. But most of them have that information already from their booking process.
Okay. Really?
Yeah, they can tell you where their guests are coming from.
Yeah, yeah. That is fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So from that, I'm able to look at not only their pathing through the county,
Sure.
we can look at where they're spending the most time. We can also see how long they're spending at places.
Yeah,
So
damn.
then we rank some of our places to look at
Well, they got you.
what are the most popular locations.
Where you ate breakfast and lunch and the whole 9 yards, eh?
I haven't gotten quite to that level of sophistication.
Oh, boy, that's-
One day that might happen.
That's a shame. Thank you, very good, very good, makes sense.
Get lots of data.
Amy, do we have an idea of what our room occupancy rate is for our hotels here in Manistee County?
I haven't looked for this year's data yet because we're still kind of warming up. And looking at the data to kind of look ahead and do some forecasting, will probably be about 98% for July. So there's a little bit of wiggle room in there. August would be the next month under that. So, but I can pull a listing of the most popular months for you. I can tell you that this past winter was not a great winter, hotel-wise.
Oh,
You know, there's a give and take with hotels. And some hotels will increase rates even if their occupancy is down, so they'll make as much revenue as they have been, which is not a bad thing necessarily, to have fewer people but still make as much revenue as you've had.
yeah,
There's others, though, that would like to see more people, more revenue, but that means also more rooms to clean and things like that, more property to maintain.
Of course, this year, we really didn't have our winter wonderland either, so we had almost no snowmobile days at all to bring people to the area.
no,
We did not, and so we were able to pivot our advertising to change the messaging somewhat. So instead of looking for snowmobilers, because snowmobilers are sophisticated, they know what the conditions are. And I'm not going to lie to them and tell them they have the snow to be able to come here.
why not?
They'll find out.
I don't have enough hours in the day.
Find out.
But we pivoted our advertising to look at not only our historic sites, but we worked with the restaurants on what are some of your cool drink specials and your food specials, what are your retail specials. We looked for we brought in the International Fly Fishing Film Festival to help with some of these things. So in spite of a bad winter, I think we did what we could to still say that there's a segment of people that don't like winter. I mean, I like winter, but there's some people that would rather walk their dogs in mild conditions instead of just blizzard conditions. So there's the good and the bad for that.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
bridge and the detour is a killer, because you get up, coming from Traverse City, they're already sending you down 37 down to 10.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah, about 31% of our visitors are brand new. And when signage says the bridge is out, they may not know that there's a secondary bridge. So 45 miles out to tell them the bridge is out, it's like, well, is Manistee an island? So there were probably some challenges there with that.
There
Have it
definitely.
And it already tells you head for Baldwin.
Yeah. We would get calls at the Bureau asking if the bridge was still out and when construction's gonna finish, so. There was a lot of unique circumstances this winter, from the bridge to lack of snow, to the economy that I think we had some challenges with, but I think the resiliency of the hotels, the restaurants, the retail shops, particularly those downtown where the business was routed around, they did what they could to try to, make winter successful.
I see TJ's already outside with their upside table, and they were full. I just come through to the meeting, they were full.
Yeah, we're ready for summer for sure.
Yeah, I think we are.
The beauty, though, of Manistee County is we are bookended by 2 ski resorts that make snow. So even if there's not natural snow, Crystal Mountain and Cabernet were working really hard to make snow, and they can if they have
Yeah.
28 degrees, so that was also good.
Yeah, weather.
How was the International Fly Fishing Festival?
It was great. I was there. Were you there?
No.
I thought it was
How do you win?
fantastic. There were 9 films that all showcased fly fishing all over the world. We live in one of the most amazing fly fishing areas,
Right.
and to watch these films and how beautiful fly fishing is in Argentina and the Keys and all over, there was some up in Canada. I think it took away the intimidation around fly fishing, and it would be fantastic if a young filmmaker would do something on the big Manistee or the little Manistee or Pine or one of the amazing experiences that people have here.
Is it
You
something
should
that?
contact,
I would like to continue it. We worked in conjunction with Ironfish to bring it in. So I would like to see it again. We did it in March at the beginning of steelhead season, and it was on a weekend that we didn't have anything else going, so why not try something new? So I would like to see it to continue, and certainly working with the Vogue was fun. And we surpassed our ticket goals. We were hoping, and our friends at the Marquette Film Festival said, if you get 100 people, then we'll call it a success, or you should. And I think we had 140 people at the first showing, and then we had 70 each at the subsequent other showings.
So that was like a Friday, Saturday, Sunday, or?
2 showings Saturday, 1 on Sunday.
Okay.
So I think we had some learnings on maybe more seminars, some things that would complement the films. But overall, I think the first time out, it was pretty successful.
Good.
Yeah. And we were able to raise some money for the Little Manistee watershed as well.
And those that missed it, probably thinking, well, maybe they'll have it again and I'll go the next time.
It was great.
Yeah, that's what I mean,
I
yeah.
took a women's fly fishing course at a college forever ago. I wonder if they do anything like that around here.
Yeah, very nice.
It was fun.
I have fly fishing because it's fun.
It's a lot of fun, but it is intimidating for people that don't know how to.
For
do
sure.
it, so.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, you can strangle yourself.
Yeah, yes, you can.
All right.
Yes.
Does the, do we have any overflow with the Gus Macker in Leadington in, I think, July, is it?
Or June?
You know, I'd have to drill down and look more closely at something like that. I would imagine that we would. I don't know how much we would, but I don't know enough by looking at July. We don't need any help selling or hotel rooms. I mean, at 98%, that's a
Yeah.
tough one for us. And that's just summer vacationers. Whether or not it's Gus Macker, I don't know. But we always look good in July anyway, just because it's fantastic here in July, so. It's possible. I mean, we see bleed over from Ironman in Benzie and from Total Archery Challenge.
See, the Baldwin's Blessing of the Bikes, that's coming up real soon.
Pardon me?
Baldwin's Blessing of the Bikes.
Oh, yeah, we'd have to look at that. That, Tight Lines for Troops, I know that some of the hotels are opening prior to Memorial Day to be able to accommodate
Yeah,
that,
May,
so.
it's always in May, yeah.
Yeah, sounds like a plan.
Any other questions for Sammy?
No.
Yeah.
Sammy, thank you so much.
Appreciate the
Blew us away again. Thank
Doing
you.
a
I'll see you in a few months.
Okay.
wonderful job, yeah.
Real nice job.
Wonderful job.
Thank you.
Wonderful job. Wonderful.
Next, Mr. Kurt Vanderwall.
There you go.
Well, good evening, everybody.
Welcome.
Good evening.
Boy, it's always a tough act to follow when Sammy comes up. She talks about all the fun stuff and everything else that's going on, and then I get to talk about what's going on in Lansing. But I do really appreciate the opportunity just to give you a brief update of what's happening in Lansing, where we are. As most of you know, there was a period of time where we were down to 54 members on each side of the aisle, because 2 members on the Democratic side ran for mayor and they both won. The special elections are over and we're back to 56-54 with the Democrats in majority. But you know, what's interesting right now is where we're at. Everything in your brother is consumed by the budget.
Oh, yeah.
And we're in budget season. And matter of fact, all committees were canceled this week, and all committees are canceled next week. Policy committees, the only ones that are meeting are the Budget Appropriations Committee. And they hope by the end of next week they'll actually have everything kind of worked out. And then I would presume that we'll get busy and we'll probably vote sometime in early June on the initial budget, and then it'll go to conference committee with the governor and come back, and she would like to have that done by when we go to summer break, the end of June. So we got a lot of work to do. A little bit of a highlight on that. I will tell you the budget this year, projected budget that is being tossed out is about $84 billion for the state of Michigan. To give you an example of where that is, when I started 7 years ago, this is my 8th year, the budget we passed was $46 billion. So we've almost, what I say is we've almost doubled the budget, not quite, but it's pretty concerning. Some of it we knew was inflated last year because of, the federal dollars that are there. But, some things have been put in place and it's really hard to claw back. And so we are pretty close to the exact same budget as we projected last year. Slight increase, but not much. So we've got a lot of work to do. We're going to have to really look at it. Things are tight. I think Sammy hit on, we really do have an issue of what inflation's done. We're seeing a slowdown, and in Lansing right now on the books, we're short about 1.3 billion in what we thought was projected. So those things influence the budget, and so we will see where that goes. So as I said, I don't get privy too much because I don't sit on any of the appropriations. So we'll see where that is. What do I see on the horizon, and what have we seen in the past? I think in the past what you guys saw and was concerning to me was the vote that went through that stripped local control on certain situations. And then with the zoning commission as you are, when the state took over the siting for solar and wind, not that you're going to have that directly in the city. However, there's been some talk about, communities that have not been welcoming to workforce housing. You guys have done a phenomenal job, but there's been a little bit of rumbling down in Lansing that maybe they need to take over more zoning. And that is something that I said, once the frogs are jumping out of the wheelbarrow, it's hard to throw them back in, and then people start looking at some other opportunities or things that they feel that they should have more control on. And I truly believe it needs to be with you. It needs to be with the county. The last thing you need to do is have us really controlling what's happening inside your beautiful city or the county. So something that we'll pay attention on, and I'll make sure that if that starts to gather a little bit. I really never thought that the citing bills would pass, but they did right straight on party lines, and that's where we're at. The other piece that's out there that is gaining some speed is short-term rental. There was a 10-bill package that was introduced. They had their first hearing on that last week. I don't suspect that it's going to move real quickly because, of course, it's very controversial, and I will tell you, very concerning to me in our communities. Again, I believe it really needs to exist here. When we start plunking numbers of 31% of the housing market can be put into short-term rental, that becomes very concerning for our communities, because we can't have, our businesses can't survive in the winter. And certainly our school systems will take a serious hit because we won't have bodies that are here to fill the seats inside the school. So unless somebody in this room would really advocate that I should be in favor of short-term rental, you can rest assured that that's not going to happen on my part, and I don't think any of you want to see that either. You want to keep that control here. So as that progresses along, Mark, I will keep you updated on that because that is gonna be a hot topic in what we do. Revenue sharing, I think that is something that has been an issue. I mean, we've kind of done somewhat decent with townships and with the cities. Of course, counties, it's been a pretty big shortfall. It has been projected on both sides, both chambers, I should say, the Senate and the House, to really look at revenue sharing and increase that. I do believe that we will see some action on that this year to really kind of get back to where we should have been in the past. So we look forward to getting that done because you guys really deserve that. I think a couple other things that we need to look at is what we can do right now with our education system and our hospital systems. Access to care for local community or for our communities is extremely important. I mean, the true vibrance of a city is only as good as the hospital system that's here. And it's been a real struggle for some of our rural communities to be able to retain some of that access to care. We've been working very closely in Lansing with I'm the vice chair of health policy, been working very closely with the chair to make sure that we kind of allow some of the models to work in lines of keeping people here. If it's telehealth, if it's ensuring that our local hospitals have a little bit better revenue sharing or a little bit more money in their pocket to make sure that they can stay in place in the rural community, we're working on that. So be aware of that. And education, of course, again, I think we've got really a neat thing going on. We got great school systems here in Manistee, and then we've got the college that put a satellite system right here in downtown. And I will say, with what West Shore has done with their partnership right now with Ferris State University is only going to help our whole region here. And I will tell you, they are thinking out of the box right now with that 4-year nursing degree that they brought into Ludington, and actually now working with the local hospitals to make sure that every student has an opportunity to do their residency or their apprenticeship at a local hospital so that they can stay here. Only assures that we're going to fill those shortages that we have inside our hospital and hopefully keep our kids here where we want them to be. I mean, really, truly, that is the number one goal, is to keep our students in the communities they live. But one last thing, and then I'll turn it over to questions. I just want to say, with what I've seen with your chamber, what I've seen with Sammy, and what I've seen with what you have done in the county board to really open your arms and really become aggressive. And Manistee is one of those bragging spots that I talk about up and down my district right now. Of you guys are about to, I say you're about to blow the doors down, but I say hold on to your britches and tighten up the shoelaces, because it's going to be a wild ride with what I see about to happen here. And when you have things like we just saw a presentation on, you guys are rocking it, and it is exciting to me to say that I can be a part of what I see as a really, really bright future here in Manistee. So with that, I'll open it up to questions, and if I can't answer, I always tell you this, I will get the answer and let you guys know. So with that, I'm open for questions if you have any.
Any questions?
I have one. It was the only thing that I wrote down. And you may not have it, but I am curious about it. The nearly doubling of the budget in less than 8 years. Do you know offhand what the primary categories of increased spending are?
I will tell you the number one increase of spending is DHHS. 43% of our budget goes right now into DHHS, which is, it can be anything attributed to it, community mental health, the education pieces that go with it, but food assistance, housing assistance, rent assistance, you name it. That is the largest increase we have. It's 43%. Second largest was our increase in education funding. Which I will tell you, I agreed with totally. We finally got rid of The shortfall, if you guys remember, 2 years ago, we were sitting at about $2,000 a student less than what the cities were in the larger counties. To get that equal to it's 9,125. I'm not sure what the projected number is going to be for next year. It's going to be a slight increase from that, but boy, that is it has certainly been a huge help to our school systems to be able to retain some help and be more competitive.
Thank you.
You think COVID had something to do with doubling the budget?
Well, absolutely. We had the huge increase the 2 years of COVID, and most of that was federal dollars. However, the problem is once you start dumping those dollars in, it gets very hard to claw them back. And I believe, I'm going to say, it still escalated dramatically. I believe before the COVID year, the first year was before all the federal dollars, we were still at about 71 million, or billion, excuse me. So, you know, over the last 2 years, we increased another 13. You know, that's still a dramatic increase, but the problem is we haven't gone back to that and now it's coming out of the dollars that are our tax dollars. And the other part of it is that, you know, we had a tax, you know, our income tax was at 4.05 and now it's been bumped. And the governor won that argument and it's back up to 4.25. So those dollars go in. I think the other thing that you should be aware of in the education side is the governor's proposal on the free college tuition. How she's right now funding that is actually not paying into the state-funded teacher's pension, which you know what happened to us about 8 years ago or 10 years ago when we made that decision. It was, we're paying for it still, $1 billion every year extra, and it's not proposed to be done until 2037 to be caught up, and now we're going to quit funding into that again, and it's just a recipe for another major problem.
Saw that in Illinois happen just a few years ago.
Marco?
Yes, sir.
Can I ask a question?
No, go ahead.
For anyone else? You mentioned you're vice chair of a health board.
Yep, Health Policy Committee.
Sure. Now, we've had an issue, well, I don't know about an issue, with our hospital that keeps making changes, and it seems that the community isn't real happy with them.
Yeah.
Now, when they make a change, do they go through someone that would, like your board, to approve that? Or
No, they don't have to make that. That's a decision made by their board or their main campus. They can make those decisions, and they come in, and then of course, you know, that's where access to care becomes a problem, because now our elderly need to drive somewhere.
Yeah.
In most cases right now it's Traverse City. We talk about when we lost our baby department, we call it that, because most people, you know, what's very nervous is people driving, you know, all the way to either Traverse City, Cadillac, or
I think that's
Ludington to get that service.
Cadillac, I think.
So it's something that we worked on. I will tell you, I've worked really hard on a couple of those. And we actually secured them some money 4 years ago to be able to keep some of those services, but they said, we're already losing money, then you keep it around, then we gotta go through the heartache again the following years. So really what it is we need to get population growth back into this community so that we can start having those services brought back in.
Yeah.
But closing all that for the maternity and everything else there, how do you entice young people back into our community when you don't have the things they need here?
Chicken or the egg?
Yeah, and that is always the magic pill, right? I mean, tourism is really great. We still need the heart to be able to take care of those tourists that come in. And that's where it comes with the education and the opportunity. We do have businesses that are looking. You know, now we're gonna, as you guys continue to embrace the workforce housing shortage that we have in this county, which is about 1,100 homes or rooms, as we start filling that gap, and you guys have done a really good job, that starts enticing businesses to start, you know, coming back into the community, and when you have those young people to be able to do that. But, you know, everything influences that, right? Cost of gas, if somebody's got to drive a long ways to go to work, they're moving towards that. And I, you know, I guess some of those other things that I didn't touch on, and now you just touched on that, and how do we grow? I'm extremely concerned on the bills that were passed on, you know, the removal of fossil fuel and being carbon-free by 2040. Any new home that's built in the state of Michigan by 2035 can't have any fossil fuel usage at all. So only way that you can heat a home or energize a home is electricity.
By what year?
2035 on that.
I'll be dead.
And that is a concern. And we're already seeing some issues with that, with some power plants that they were going to shutter, that the Energy Commission has said you can't do that because we're already worried about some brownout situation.
That's
So
what's gonna happen, yeah.
absolutely. So I think with what's happening here in Manistee, again, with the potential of some energy opportunities, it's again a growth opportunity here in the community.
I know our population is mostly seniors, like myself. I'm also on the Board of Council on Aging.
Yeah.
And we're working quite diligently trying to get some housing built on our property for seniors and that. And we've been working, getting information from a lot of different places.
Yeah, we've actually been a little bit involved with that with you because of the issue with some of the past history of the property, but
Right.
we continue to try to forge through
Yeah, we
SHPO
gotta
and
work
some of
out
those
things.
other things, yeah.
Yeah, aware of that.
Yeah, thank you for your hard work on that, by the way.
Yeah.
So I was told by an investor that's going to hopefully build out near the hospital, that we're short 1,250 rooms
Okay.
for the next 5 years.
Yeah.
5 to 6 years. That's just crazy, you would think. But we are, because we are bleeding younger people that have to drive from Ludington, Cadillac, Traverse. We don't have the housing, especially with the short-term rentals, as you talked about, going up to 31% possible. That's gonna kill our schools.
Oh, believe me, I don't think it's gonna pass, but I always get very nervous about those things. But it has been something that's been on the table almost every year that I've been in Lansing, but it just continues to garner just a little bit, and then they throw a new caveat on, well, if they come in, we'll, you know, a 6.5% tax for rooms that will be used. Problem is, that does not solve the issue of our homes. And, you know, I always use Frankfurt as a perfect example. Every one of us has been to Frankfurt. There's a lot of those homes that have been handed down in a family that they're not being used year round now, but they're not being rented out. Now you take and put 31% on that situation, in that school system, it can't survive. And neither can the downtowns on, you know, a January, you know, like we just went through January, February, March. If there's no snow, you know, we can't capitalize on that, and there was no ice either, so you don't even get the ice fishermen. So we really need to pay attention to that. So I hear you loud and clear.
That's true.
Any other questions?
I think we had one right over here.
Yeah, two things, actually. One is, you know, they talked about M55 being one of our vacation thoroughfares. What's the opportunity to have that become a 4-lane highway? Because that would make a huge impact on our county, because a lot of transportation costs are dependent on truckers having to go on a 2-lane road. Anytime they have to go on a 2-lane road, it's a cost. Understandable, right? Because it takes longer, you can't pass, you can't, whatever. 55, I understand, we already have the right of way. There's plenty of room, half of it is federal land or state land anyways. Yet I haven't heard anything about, making that. In fact, we only have, 2 turn-off passing lanes on that stretch.
Yeah, I can't really tell you how many passing lanes, but I will address that. I've had conversation with MDOT on that in the department. They continue to do traffic studies on that. We still don't hit that the traffic other than, July and a little bit of August.
But that's the egg and the chicken issue.
Right.
Again, you're not gonna have the traffic
it-
until you make it.
At a cost, per lane mile right now, it's about $1 million. And they're not, they're not going to invest in something that isn't really quite ready yet. We've talked to them,
Well, not
US
that-
10 about some of the issues that we have in US 10. It's the most deadly section of highway in the state. Truthfully, it is. And their option right now is, well, it doesn't meet the standard to move anything else, but if it does, what's really gonna be interesting is it'll be roundabouts that they'll do to slow the traffic down. Well, nobody really wants to see roundabouts either, but, that's kind of where we're at. But it's all about traffic,
Yeah.
and right now, we don't have enough traffic year-round to be able to warrant that.
They're not worried about the land acquisition there because they already have a 200-foot
They do,
strip all the way
yeah.
through there. They've had that since the early
Nope.
60s.
It's there for the future, and I will tell you, again, that's my belief that
Yeah.
Manistee is gonna be the new Traverse City here in the future, and you will see those things happen, but, we don't even have a 4-lane going into Traverse City right now, so,
No.
if you think about that.
Yeah.
So,
True.
Well, in 2027, they're gonna start reconstruction of 31 in
There.
Manistee.
Right.
We talked a little bit about it, city council had, MDOT in, they're talking about having a road diet, moving to 3 lanes through.
yeah,
Yeah,
I'm not an expert on that, but it's very interesting, the thought process, and, I don't get too worked up too early on that, because I think a lot of things are gonna change, and you're gonna see a lot of studies in the next several years here in Manistee. You'll see the cords laying across the highway.
Yeah.
And I do truly believe with the influx and what we're seeing with year-round traffic here, we're gonna start seeing some of those ideas being changed. So I just think that, we're a little early yet,
Yeah.
but it will come.
I know, we're 3 years away.
Yeah.
And the other question is there any legislation to protect our waters from other states, entities,
Oh, yeah.
and businesses?
Yeah, there is actually a compact right now, the Great Lakes Compact right now. Anybody that touches the water, they have a group or a board that allows, so I believe it is, I used to know this, but it's not like 16 miles. Anybody outside of 16 miles has to go through this board if they want to ever try to get water. It's not been permitted very often. They have to meet several water quality issues before they can even be asked to do that. But we have to face the fact the Great Lakes are a precious commodity, and we are going to have a lot of states that would love to tap in. And we've been working really hard with Eagle and some of the other departments in Michigan to actually do more water quality standards just for our normal aquifer, to make sure that, we have very few state-run wells to really challenge and look at the water. Matter of fact, we only have 4, which is not where it should be. A lot of farmers have their own, but we need to work together to really make sure that how quickly is that aquifer recharging and really where we're at. But to sell water to other states, we're pretty confident that this
Give it away.
commission that's put in place has been pretty strict so far, so.
Thank you.
Marco, one more time.
Go ahead, Roger.
Back on the 55 thing,
Yes,
who raised the speed limit to 65?
the legislative body did in 2015.
And for what reason?
Again, it goes on the traffic and how many people are going through there.
And just that section now, 31 north, nothing, 55. Just
And 37. most of 37 shooting up from Lake County,
It's 65.
all the way to Mesick is 65.
Really? Could just figure that one out, just like that. they
Again, in
do.
traffic.
Thank you.
You bet.
Go ahead, Mark.
Any
Good.
other questions? Robert, you have anything? No?
No?
Well, we certainly thank you for your
Thank you.
time and coming up from Lansing.
Well, now
We
I'm gonna take my lovely bride out for a bite to eat here in Manistee, and I appreciate it, but, just so everybody knows, she's stuck with me for 40 years, so we just celebrated 40 years of marriage.
Congratulations.
last week.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
There's an Irish band playing at North Channel tonight.
No, we won't spend the night. I got too many things, going on tomorrow up and down the district, but you might even see me back in Manistee tomorrow. We'll see.
We
I have time.
appreciate all your time you give our city
Thank
and,
you.
Yeah.
and the residents in Michigan. It's,
We got a new hotel too at the beach.
Yes, you do.
If you-
Beauty.
yeah.
Well, thank you again. I
Thank
really
you.
appreciate the
Love to
opportunity.
have you back.
You bet. We'll make sure we do. Oh, thank you. But yeah, we'll absolutely come back. We should probably plan on this, if it's not quarter, at least biannually, that we get in so that we keep everybody updated. Love to do it. So
Okay, well, we appreciate
Don't
it
be
very
afraid to
much.
reach out.
I won't.
All right.
All right.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yep, drive safe.
Bye, thanks, appreciate it.
Yep, take care. There you go, that's special.
Okay, moving along, public comment on agenda-related items.
Public comment.
So anyone in the public has anything to say? No? Okay.
Anything good to say?
I don't think I have to go any farther reading anything, Teresa? No? Okay. New business, redevelopment-ready community?
My place.
My
Yes.
place, yes.
So I had printed in your packet, just one little small section. It's called the 2.4 of the housing diversity. So as all of you know, that we are the redevelopment-ready community.
Yeah.
And we're a statewide certified program to support communities and development ready in today's economy. So this was handed to me to start to review that, going through the ordinance and going through the master plan, that we were possibly in the green where it says essential expectations, but of course we want to be in the certified expectations. But after reviewing, and I had printed this for all of you, come to find out, we have a lot more of these, and we do have 3 or plus more. So we do not have to revisit any of our ordinances right now, and I kind of put this in prematurely, but started reviewing. So I just kind of want to go over just that list in front of you to let you know what type of housing we do have, because then I report this every couple of weeks to the RRC and let them know where we're at and where we stand on things. So one of the things that we do have townhomes. We do have triplexes, quadplexes, and sixplexes, because that is all of our multi-use. Also, we have commercial, which is a housing by right in a commercial area. We have first floor residential with commercial, and residential above commercial. So we have targeted many of those. But it was kind of brought to my attention because, of course, we know of the housing shortage.
Right.
And looking at this, and for us to be recertified by the end of January for RRC, I'm taking the classes, I'm reviewing what steps we need to take to complete that and continue that. So after reviewing this, I thought, okay, we need to start talking about these things, put it in your packet, but now after doing a little bit more research, so I'm happy to say that we at least have that, and that we do now have 3, and we're all set for that little step, so.
Yeah, I was gonna ask.
Would
how
you
long is
consider,
that-
oops, I'm sorry.
Oh, sorry, Rob.
No, go.
I was just gonna ask, how long does that designation last? A yearly that we have to, this RRC, that we have to upgrade it, or?
That's a good question. I think maybe every 3 years, but I honestly, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. They just told me that this, what needs to be done by the end of January, and I'm plugging away.
Remember?
Denise.
Qualified for this?
Yeah, Denise had done all of
Yeah.
that, yes.
They keep it, update.
And we do. I have to do a lot of steps monthly just to keep that updated and to give them a report, yeah.
But only you, we don't have to do anything, cause, are we?
I like this right here, just checking with you and just reviewing, absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah, all right, go ahead, I'm sorry.
Would you consider the cottage housing bungalow courts at Harbor Village? So we could check off another one? Would you
Yeah, let me
consider
look
that?
into that and see how that was presented. And, yeah, I kind of thought too, maybe PUDs, why wouldn't that be a part of the selection too? And they also have others where you can just give your thoughts on, hey, this is one of them that we thought that we could have or put in.
Now,
So-
now the other one also is the senior center. They were looking at the bungalow courts
Yeah,
for the
Oh,
seniors.
okay,
Unless that plan changed, but that's basically how that was originally kind of looked at.
well, that's good. It made me feel really good to be able to see that, and then that's what their expectation is, so,
sure,
yep.
okay. All right,
That it, Teresa?
Yes, that is
Okay.
it.
Thank you so much. We'll move down to old business, master plan.
So again, we have the RFP that's out there for bid, and I've had actually several planning consultant firms get a hold of me and take, 5-10 minutes to talk with them to kind of give them an idea of what some of the interests that we have for the master plan. So again, that's our master plan grant that we received, the $33,000. And definitely one of the very first things was housing. We need to talk about that and have that included into our master plan. Another one was the US 31 corridor that we just spoke about. There's going to be a change, possible change in that within the next 3 years. A next topic I talked with planning consultants was the future land use. What's that going to look like? And we need to evaluate that. Update some of the pictures that we have or add more pictures to the master plan. Surveying, tourism, and then climate. I think that is another good issue with the 4 seasons that we need to include in the master plan. So those are some of the things that the planning consultants are asking. What are you interested in? What are some ideas? Those are the things that I've been plugging away. So it's been good to talk with them.
With the amount of, you say the grant of 33,000, did that come into question at all, or is that?
Actually, it has, and several of them are saying that it's gonna be between 24 and 26,000, so we kind of
in the
hit it.
ballpark.
Yes, and in the budget, we had 30,000 put in the budget for that, and so now we've taken that money and it's, been placed other places, so that's what I've told them, we can only use what we have for the grant.
Yeah.
We have no other funds that we're gonna put towards this. This is our goal, so when you're upfront with that, telling them that,
Yeah.
and they know that going in. Plus, now with that master plan, us doing this step, we are again checking off the RRC
Yeah.
certifications.
Right.
So this is great.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, good idea. Thank you, Mark.
No, thank you. Anything else? Okay. 314 Sibbins Street.
Yes, 314 Sibbins Street has been sold.
Be late, $1 short.
Sold?
It is sold.
People have moved in.
Really?
They have, yes.
How, I didn't think it was livable.
No,
It's
it is
gutted.
not livable. Her items are there.
Holy cow.
Yeah,
She has met with myself and the building inspector. She knows that she is not to be living in the place. She has a plan.
Okay.
She has already communicated to both Jerry and I, and so we're hopeful and we're moving ahead and moving forward.
Oh, good.
Yes.
You can't divulge what her plan for the use of the building at this time?
Nope, not at this time.
it's a female, a single female?
Yep.
Is that right?
Yep,
About,
Sure
yeah,
is.
sold sign coming in tonight. I
yes.
Car, they're taking stuff
Yeah,
out,
there
putting
you
it
go.
inside.
Well, they have a piano out in their courtyard, along with a,
Do you play?
no, I listen.
Player piano.
Instigating.
Yeah, so piano and a table with a canopy on it, so
Okay,
Neighborhood.
we don't have to cross that other bridge.
right, that is
Okay.
correct.
All right, so hopefully, well, they can't live in there.
Correct. She knows that, and also she knows the issues that we had before with the property, because it really should not have been sold in the condition that it was and with the,
Don't the realtors have any type of, I don't know, I mean, I don't watch what I
You
say.
talking about ethics?
You know,
Not a realtor, I don't know.
It's a piece of property and they're allowed to sell it, you
yeah,
know.
I know, but gee, do you think you tell somebody the condition of it?
In September.
I think that's all disclosed. I mean,
Isn't it?
it's up to the buyer.
I mean, when you walk through there, you can see, you know, you don't have to be told that it's a hot mess.
In the information on that, when they were selling the building, it was listed, there was the PUD, I believe it was, that
Yep.
was listed with them.
It doesn't,
Did,
does it?
It doesn't? I thought it did.
so you didn't discuss that at all with her?
I think it had already expired.
It expired,
expired.
yes.
It expired yesterday,
Yeah.
so, but
Yep.
to have that in the ad, a little tacky, so. I didn't say that out loud, so. Okay,
It should not be on the ad.
so we're done with 314 River, okay?
Yeah.
Well, temporarily.
That's what I said, 7, yes. You just heard something else.
Next one's River.
Next one's River.
Yeah, so we have 435 River Street, Mr. Matheson. In your packet, I sent him a letter. I have seen him. He stopped in to see me. He said not to discuss the letter, but he does have a sign permit he would like me to review. I said at this time, I would like myself and Jerry to first be able to be welcomed into the building to see what is going on. At that request, he said, sure, give him a call, set up a time. I've called and left a message, so that's where we're at with that. And the sign that he has given me so far, the portion that I've reviewed looks fine, but we need to first see what's been going on inside, if things have been done without a permit. I also need to look at it for my historical district. I need to look in the outside, the windows, the facade, that type of thing, so.
Was that property blighted by chance? Because there was cement,
All that,
there was a pile of
all that
brick,
brickwork on the
Yeah.
south side.
the south side.
Yeah.
Let me check into that. I will see if that is or not.
It goes all the way.
Because that would be, one more thing that I will bring up and discuss too
It
with
does
that.
go all the way to Water Street.
Yes. Yep.
There's that partial concrete wall there that's pretty dilapidated. Yeah.
I don't remember seeing that on the blight list, though.
I don't either.
I'm just taking a shot in the dark,
I
but,
can see
having
why-
that
I can see why she.
Shooting in the dark?
shot in the dark, not shooting, shot.
Shot.
Did you ever check out if that building, like where the old city drugstore is, the beverage company, the parking lot, the next building? That's been sitting empty. They came before us to get permission to do things, and nothing's ever been done to that building.
Yeah, that one's on my radar. Yes. Work in progress.
Jeff did do a nice job on the woodwork and the glass. I have to say that, so.
Speaking of signs, did Scoobies get their sign approved?
Oh. Sign looks so cool.
Yes. Yeah, kind of, sort of. Waiting on just what style of bracket he's going to be using. It's, as of right now, no, he's not going to be putting it on the roof because the roof sign is not allowed. He's working with Johnson Sign Company to see what type of bracket and what will hold that,
But
so.
he's kind of going quasi in between the two routes and
Ye-
attaching it to.
Yes, correct. Yep, yep. Yeah. It looks great.
Awesome looking
It
sign.
is.
I'm really
It
looking-
is. So
think
do
people
I.
are gonna really like it when they see it.
Yes,
It's one of
yes.
the more creative signs I've seen in Manistee in a long, long time.
It is. It is. He just has so many projects. He's just such a busy guy, Marty is, so a lot going on. And so I just kind of, every couple weeks or months, I just zip him something, hey, what's going on with it, where we at? So, yep,
Well, good.
yep.
Public comments, communication? Anyone in the audience that'd like to say anything? Have up to 5 minutes. Nobody? Okay. Staff and board reports.
So we had our Michigan State University Extension class. We had our site plan review that night. We had a lot of fun. We missed a few of you. Yes, but we had good food. I was trying to pull you guys in because of the food, but no, we had a good time. Mary did an excellent job like she always does. I was even stumped on a few of the things on the site plan, and we had a Dollar General that we had the site plan review on. So, want to thank you.
Yeah.
And Sparty's,
Yes, Spartyville.
Spartyville, yes. So did,
I missed it though.
with that, there was two credits for that class.
Yes.
You know if those have been applied yet?
Not sure. She said she was gonna be working on it. I know that I've got it in an R sheet, that it'll be applied for all of you, because I keep track of that, so, yep.
Thank you. Okay.
Marco,
Yes.
speaking of that, are we planning on doing anything credit-wise to those that need us for the planning?
Well, that's a good question, yes. We
Yep, I can find that out for you. I can find out where everybody sits and,
reviewed earlier in the year some classes
yes.
too that we can,
I don't know. how
Reach
many
out.
are- Isn't there, how many are?
we need 6 credit hours.
Yeah, but how many of us need it?
I don't know.
Oh.
No,
I do.
oh, I mean, yeah, we all need to be for the year.
yep, for the year.
Okay, so we all need it. Okay,
Yep.
all right. Yeah, so if you would, I guess, look into it and.
And we
I will.
can, it'd be nice to do it online.
I was just gonna say.
Yeah, if
Very
you could, or
nice.
do what you had that night, or that day with that Mary.
But I can report that for next meeting, what everybody's, credits are.
So the question is, if we have it here again, what are you making? So, food-wise.
Sure, I can make food again. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
No, we'll have Bob make something. Right, Bob?
Right, Bob?
I think you all should took chunk of cookies home with you.
Oh, who took all the cookies?
You took a lot more.
I know, I took 3 cookies. That's right.
Guest speaker, I think we laid that out for next month.
Yes, I believe we're gonna have Laura.
Yes.
Is that correct, for the Manistee Foundation?
Yes,
Yep. Yep,
Henselman?
Henselman.
yep,
Yeah,
that's
okay.
correct.
okay. And we'll just have one next month? Mm-hmm. Okay, that's good.
All right.
And maybe in, that would be the June meeting, July, we have Chief Glass come in.
Okay.
Public safety, the fire chief.
Did McCool ever show up?
No, you know, we haven't reached out to him and maybe in August. Also, what do you think about having the director of the Vogue come in and,
Yeah, our new director.
so, I mean, we've never had that. You know, so I'd like to introduce more and more new speakers.
I agree with you. It's a
Okay.
good idea.
Aren't there some new people at the chamber too?
There will be, yes, he starts
Yes.
on June 3rd.
Didn't we talk about having him right here in June? Didn't we talk about having him here in June originally?
Well, if, to get his feet under him, you know, probably,
Give him a month.
you know, give him a month or two, so,
We could have Blake come in though, he's been at the job for a couple of months.
that's true.
Yeah.
But I'd like to have the new economic,
Yeah, I do, no, I
Development.
agree, no, we want him there too.
Good idea.
you know, or Stacy.
Or Stacy.
I like having
Hasn't been here
that
long.
list of people that are applying for permits, so we know what's being,
Okay.
Yeah, she's.
the town, that's good that you include that with our stuff.
Would you like that every month? I can do that for you every month.
That, I don't know about anybody else, but
Yep.
I'm curious, since you brought up something that we talked about before, and I apologize if I missed the resolution. This was when we were working with the county planners, there's one of the marijuana facilities started a grow in the back, and the smell is very prominent on 31. And I know that there was some crossover, but I don't know if there was ever a resolution. But anything that I've been part of, I mean, there's been strict guidelines that
Yeah,
that odor
Yes.
cannot be out there. So I didn't know what was going on with that.
So just to kind of recap on that, Jerry Blue and myself went out there, and one of the main things was they were leaving doors open. So that right there was a violation that needed to end. They could not leave doors open. We had to talk to the staff. The second thing is we had the mechanical inspector go out and take a look at all the ventilation that is there. First, we had to review the site plan, see what those ventilations, make sure that they are the correct ventilations, and that they said that they were adequate. So as of right now, and then since all of that has happened, and the owner and the property owner knows this, we've not had any complaints since then. I don't know if any of you have, right? So, but I still think,
Today.
yeah, and I still think you're going to. And I don't know if that was not made aware of or never really thought of, or I don't know what the steps are.
I'm not sure what,
I know that,
Yeah.
I know with some of the other places that wanted to have the grow facilities, they say there's no odor from any of that, and the way they have the ventilation and all that stuff. So that's what I remember from past talks about it, you know?
Right. Yeah.
What is it? What's the name of this?
One on Ninth Street.
it's behind, oh, that,
Oh, the, used to be.
Oh, on Golczewski?
Yeah, did they ever get that?
I don't know if they ever did.
No, no, they haven't.
Because I know they came back and asked for extension, and they showed a lot of pictures, but I didn't know if they ever got anything going or not.
I would say no, they were gonna put up 5 buildings,
Yeah.
but they haven't. The only thing they've done is kind of reconfigured that garage
Yeah,
that was there. I don't know what they're doing in there.
okay. I was just curious, because I hadn't heard anything about them.
Well, Shelley, what I can do is I can find out what is our next step, what else we can do. Yeah, because if you're smelling it, you're hearing it from other individuals, that's why I bring it up here, so.
Well,
I'll
first
find out.
We gotta find out if it's still there, or is it?
Oh, yeah.
It's the
Yep.
A-Storage Inn, Paul Adamski's property.
Yeah.
Up on top of the hill there.
But,
Yeah.
yeah, we.
Where their storage units
Yep.
used to be? Okay. Now, who would come and inspect that, the state?
State.
State.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. I was just curious. I didn't know any resolution, so thanks.
Yep.
Smell of it, yeah.
Okay.
The next thing I just want to talk about is from the historical district. So the Downtown Business Connection meeting, which is on Tuesday, May 21st at 8:30 a.m. at the college. Catherine Kenny and myself are going to be speaking at the Downtown Business Connection meeting. They asked us to speak. We're going to be attending the meeting and just giving them some updates on signage, because signage has been a big issue in downtown, and sign and what you can, what you can't do, and what's been on windows and all of that, since that's been kind of a hot topic. They asked us to come in, so we're going to be doing that. So I invite you if you'd like to attend. Again, 8:30 in the morning, May 21st, at the community, or the West Shore Community College. Yep, right there. It
What
says
time?
Classroom A, 8:30 a.m.
8:30.
What is that date again, Teresa?
May 21st. It's a Tuesday.
Oh, okay. All right.
Oh, I'll be there. Okay.
Okay,
I'm there
Classroom
every
A?
Tuesday.
there you go.
Is that on the top level?
No, it's right, they overlook go in the side entrance right on River, or on
Washington?
Maple.
Maple?
Yeah.
Yeah, that too.
Those 2 classrooms that are there as you're walking toward the desk.
Oh, okay.
They're,
Okay, all
They
right.
overlook the river, but they're right on the main level.
Coffee will be served.
Okay.
I don't know. I'm not in charge of that. I'm a guest, so I don't know about that.
All right, excellent.
All right.
The invite on that?
Yep, and I do have 2 more things if I could briefly talk about those.
Oh, yeah.
In front of you, you've got your Michigan planner. And that one is Managing Water Coast to Coast. And the entire booklet, that is what it's about. And wanted to let you know, when I worked at Laketon Township in Muskegon, I actually took that class with the American Planner Association in Ann Arbor. And so this touches on just a little bit of that, but very interesting and very good. Kind of also reflects a little bit about what we heard Kurt talk about too, with water. So that's a good one to take home and have a read on that one.
I took something that was offered years ago at, it's in Traverse City. It's a very large building. I know the Maritime School is there,
Oh,
but that was with,
Was the
It was a
Hannity
sim-
building or something?
it's a big brick building, beautiful. Debbie Stabenow was there, and it was like a big Great Lakes water, some
Like a
sort
watershed
of
or
class,
something?
webinars,
Yep.
you know, or seminar, I mean, not webinar.
Fun, yeah. It's always interesting, yeah, it is. And then lastly, I wanted to let you know that I've been working with Chief Glass. He's asked my assistant on just letting me know, and with Jerry, just some blight structures, some structures that have junk and rubbish and a couple other things. So what we're doing is going right into the BSNA software that we have, looking to see what has been happening in the past, just trying to assist the police officers with any of this before and if they get a blight officer, and just doing that. So right now, focusing on 6 properties, looking to see what's been written in the past, what it's been happening. So what I do is I send out the letter, of course, copied our attorney and Chief Glass on that. The letter will go out. I give them 2 weeks right now just to respond to me. They have my telephone number, they have my email. With that, I need to hear from them in 2 weeks, whether they're going to work on it, why aren't they working on it, what is their plan? Try to work with them, get things cleaned up. If that doesn't happen, then I send out a final notice. Then after that final notice, we don't respond or see anything, then a ticket will be issued and the officer will be delivering that. So it's kind of our step, and we need to step that up. It's gonna help if we do, if we do get a blight officer. But Jerry's been doing blighted structures, I've been doing the outdoor storage and the junk and rubbish and stuff. So we're working on that, getting ahead finally, and then with spring, it's a good time to do that. And there isn't as many excuses as that it's cold, or I don't want to do it, or I'm not here, or I'm in Florida, or something like that. So trying to do that. So those are my couple things I wanted to let you know.
All right, hey, yeah.
Well, there's a house on Sibbon, I think it was 418 7th Street, that they cleaned up their yard. Looked at it tonight, so thank you. It's driving me up the wall.
The beautiful ramp in the corner of First.
On the Tiefentop house.
Yeah,
There's a house on 6th and Davis that's a rental property,
Okay?
and they're handicapped kids living there. They've been in there for 4 months with no bathroom. The floor's rotted out, they've gutted out everything in there, all that debris laid in the yard, insulation stuff, and there's still people living in there. I can't understand, if you don't have a bathroom, how you can have these handicapped kids. Where's their social worker who's taking?
We're taking care of that one. We are. We are on top of that one. Yes.
yep.
Yes, so that one is being handled.
Thank you.
Is that
Yeah,
right?
it is. Yes.
My goodness.
Yep. Yeah.
Laura, do you have anything for us?
I do not.
Okay.
Well, Teresa, did you ever get your helper you wanted in the budget?
We're hoping.
Oh, it's not
that-
complete yet?
When they have the next council meeting, so fingers crossed.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, fingers crossed.
Taking my fire. Man.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Why, oh, I'm sorry.
Man, you read my notes?
Why?
Yeah.
He's doing it by telepathy.
Well, she was talking about it, I remember, and they were talking budget, and
But I will say, there's been some question as to why do we need somebody to help us? And,
why? Oh, yeah.
well, there
Oh,
has.
I'm sure.
No, there has. But we're looking at somebody about 20 hours a week.
Yeah.
And so right now, a big part of that, and I've talked with Jerry, is Jerry's spending a lot of his time calling rentals, doing rental letters, actually stuffing the envelopes, folding, I mean, we're doing all of that. So that is time that he can take and be able to go out to do those rental inspections, go out to do the building permits and all of that. Go out there and do the blight. So his time is gonna be utilized for that. With me, it's gonna be helping me with these packets, getting the packets together, all the mailing that I do and send out. So the person's gonna be very helpful.
Well, we still don't know yet.
Not for sure yet.
Okay.
No,
Cross your
we're real hopeful, but yeah, it just isn't gonna be final till
All right.
next week, so,
Yeah, all right.
right.
All right, member discussion. Well, that's all, Teresa, correct?
Yes, that is correct. Thank you.
Yeah.
Roger?
No, that was good. That was what I was
My
gonna ask her
questions.
about her helper.
I'm sure.
Thank you.
I do. Marlene?
Nothing.
Nothing? Robert?
Nothing, just wanna see some more continuing ed stuff.
Okay.
Shelley?
I have nothing. I don't, I asked all my questions.
Tammy?
I'm not sure this is the right venue to ask, and it's getting to be a pet peeve of mine. With it being spring, and everybody's having your companies come in and do their mowing, and they're exhausting it into the street.
I've noticed that too.
And if you're driving, it's no big deal, but I'm a bicyclist, and you can wipe out really easy on grass shavings.
Well, especially if they're wet too.
Yeah,
Yes.
especially if they're wet, I avoid them all, and I haven't got my bike out yet, mainly because of that. But I was driving around this afternoon looking for things, and there were like 4 different companies doing that, and it was just in my neighborhood too, just up on top of the hill. I don't know who to complain to, but
Yeah.
letting me then.
I don't know if that's a DPW. I know, well, when Thad was here, that was one of my pet peeves, and he said there was nothing that could be done, but I'm sure there is.
But what about even just a simple letter that goes out to the landscape companies that do service the area? Just, we'd like it if you could just, yes, exactly, or do this and don't blow them in the street, because that makes our residents have extra work to clean up or whatever else, just even a letter. I don't know if that would help.
I've seen over the years, even the DPW, when they go mow the parks, they leave huge piles next
I
to
know
the
that-
road for days on end.
And where I used to live in the Thumb, we lived out in the country, and the sheriffs would come by if you mowed your bank, because I lived on 40 acres, so, but if you mowed any of your bank or into the state road or the county road, you were going to get a ticket.
Right, right,
I know the street
And I
sweepers
don't-
are
I
out,
just
but they're
don't
not
know
out
what
that
the rule
often.
here is.
right.
We're just happy they cut their grass.
I know.
Yeah.
But I want them
You
to
gotta,
just-
you gotta go for the little things.
Wait for that 2-hour break in the rain to
Yeah.
cut the grass.
I'm glad they're cutting the grass. It looks much better, but can they just sweep it up?
Right.
You know, it would take them 10 more minutes on a job that they charge for.
Right.
I can show them how to do that, so
Thank you.
I'd be more than
Thank you.
happy.
That's my vent for the
Okay,
night.
thank
Thank you.
Mick?
I've been away for a while, so I must have missed any updates on the project on River Street on the corner with the hotel.
Gateway?
The Gateway project.
Oh,
They were supposed to in my notes, I had them coming to the council in April.
Brownfield, I just saw another
And
presentation.
as, with an update.
And,
Oh, I know, but
Yeah.
that was what was in my notes, because I thought that was what they thought was, when they were here the last time, or maybe it may have been city council.
Well, they were going to, last fall, have their boring samples done, wasn't it,
Yeah.
Bob?
They did get the boring,
They were talking of breaking ground
they did
this
get the
year.
boring samples done,
Spring.
that's where everything came to.
But that's why they were gonna come, and I thought they were gonna come and see us sometime.
Shelley can maybe help us with this.
Mr., they call him T,
T,
Up to
yep.
T.
came before I think it was at my Brownfield meeting, last week.
Be head of Brownsville.
Well, he came before with an updated presentation, said we were the first ones to see it. So it was largely architectural, visual in nature. Gave an update, said that the south side would be started first. He gave the progression. I assumed that we would get some kind of follow-up. I have draft notes from Ed, who sent them out. That, I can ask, I don't think it's an issue to share it with this group, but the timeline obviously has changed, but I know that, I wish I had thought to bring the notes. Oh, wait a minute, I may have them. Come back to me.
Okay.
And the other one is on the Riverwalk. Is there a schedule of how the work is going to progress and when things are going to be closed and open? Because obviously, they're going to have some downtime to make all that work happen. So I'm just curious if we got any kind of updates on that project. Because that's supposed to start this year, right, unless something.
River?
Yeah, there's a group
Yeah.
cleaning it.
Replacing all that more
Yeah.
boarding.
Oh, I don't know.
I don't have.
So those are the two
Yeah.
things that I don't have any update, or I don't have any,
Bradford might be another one to invite to come here and
Yeah.
talk at Bradford.
Yep.
people ask if, when the Riverwalk's gonna be closed, and can't have it.
Right.
That's a good question.
Oh, I saw there was some grant funding for something on there too.
Yeah.
Well, I'll go and then you can keep looking. So some good news, rode by tonight by the Tabernacle. They have started the landscaping, which it looks very nice. They have 4 trees on Hancock that are planted. Did a nice job. They cut out all the weeds. It's all topsoil now. So a lot of progress there, which is good.
Is Consumers Power ever gonna do anything with that telephone pole right in the middle of
I
it?
think they're keeping it.
It costs a lot of money to move those power.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, oh, man.
And then the next one, Pam actually sent an email on this one. It's the Milwaukee House, the drainage ditch on the south side.
Is that what that is? That, like,
This metal pond.
Yes.
Yes. I had forgotten about that one and see where that's at.
Landscape now.
Yep, Milwaukee House.
It's looking good, so he's got he has, excuse me, he has the post in for the parking lot lights. Taking nice shape, but there is a orange snow fence basically around that,
Not all the way around though.
not all the way around.
Yeah.
When I went
Tonight
by
it was
yesterday,
blowing down, so,
Yeah, for safety.
yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
So somebody
Yep.
in the middle of the evening could fall in.
Yeah.
That thing is just deep, somebody looking to get hurt if it's falling in.
There's no way you could, even an adult could not climb out of that thing.
yeah, it's not well lit
Get some kind
there.
of grading cover over it or something.
Is that
Yeah.
right?
So, I know.
My apologies, I had forgotten about
We-
that, but yeah.
I think we talked to Jerry a little bit on that, and he was gonna cross that bridge. Didn't know if they were going to grade it or just fill it with gravel, not gravel,
Pea
but a
gravel.
rock.
Yeah.
So it drains off. So I guess, we can,
I think I still think there should be some kind of cover over it, of a graded cover, to keep even animals out of it.
Need to see what the site plan looked like and what they had proposed before, so.
Plan didn't really specify how deep it was or
Oh,
anything. I
okay.
didn't see any depths.
You
on it.
walk
I
the
just saw-
sidewalk, you can fall into there.
Yeah.
And the marina is starting to fill up.
Yeah,
so
you wanna-
people are
Yes.
gonna be Walking
Yeah.
that way. and-
Yep.
And it is a social district.
And it's a little.
Yes.
And it actually is a little dark on that corner, so if you don't know it's there,
yeah, if you cut it short.
if you cut that corner short, you're gonna be in that
Yeah.
pit.
Okay. All right, I will do that tomorrow.
So,
Yeah, right away.
one more, okay.
Eh,
So-
Is there any news on the, oh, I'm sorry,
Go in.
on the old hospital? Have they come forward with any plans?
Nope, nothing more. Nope.
That'd be dead water.
Don't you?
You're gonna get this.
I might be old, but you'll get a thump
Oh,
or
yeah?
two.
No, I forgot what I was gonna say. Thanks a lot.
Anytime.
I did forget.
You forgot.
Must
Go
have
ahead,
been a
maybe
lot.
I'll remember.
That's what my mother always said.
There isn't much in the notes. It was, T presented, and Roger was there too, presented the slide deck, went through the visually, the project has changed a little, but materially it hasn't. Still the same hotel slash condo on the north side, a parking deck with workforce housing and townhouses and a few small retail areas on the south side. Mixed use on residential and commercial. But it'll be done in 2 phases, so they want to get that south side project done, and then the north side
So they
project.
flopped it,
Yeah, they
because the original one they told us last was the north side first, and they were gonna use the south side.
Yeah, different, the south side first, and I think that has to do more with, it may or may not be in agreement with the city, I'm not sure, but the parking structure. I think that parking structure and the tax abatement and the tax funding that's available for it, that'll get reimbursed almost in entirety to them.
That'll totally screw up their staging areas for construction.
Well, and that's what they needed, so they wanted to use that north side for
Originally,
staging.
But originally, we were gonna build the north side and use the south side for staging. You put that
Yeah.
parking tower in, you've
That'd
lost
be-
all staging for the north.
My guess is that it's all of the abatement issues on that
Yeah.
riverside,
That's my
riverfront side
guess.
is what's gonna,
Mark, well, that'd be a good one to bring to a meeting, let them explain.
T.
Is T for C for whatever it's pronounced.
Be at a caucus, or that's, be a butcher.
Tax, yeah, that's.
But,
I'd almost like to see the guy from the tribe come.
Yeah, you just spoke, yeah, they got a plan,
Tyler?
I'd like to see him instead of T. 'Cause
Yeah.
T,
Haven't had anybody from the tribe.
I'd like to see somebody from the tribe instead of T, because T can talk around circles. I've known him for way too many years.
uh-oh.
I
He did a
agree.
very thorough presentation.
Yeah.
But you gotta read between the lines with him too.
He's a
I've done that
politician.
the Last 20 years.
And I apologize, I don't recall dates. He did give some tentative
Yeah.
dates about things, and I don't recall what they were. They're not in the notes. But yeah, might
That's
be.
how he operates, everything's tentative.
Yeah, that'd be one good one to call, Mark.
well, I now I remember what I was gonna say, but,
Uh-oh.
both Pam and Roger brought some questions up to me, which went Roger with the street vacations, and then Pam with the metal pond, not the cement pond by any means.
It's a steel.
But yeah, I mean, when everybody sees something, email, I know you don't have email, but you can call
Yeah, that's your
or
number.
text
Yeah?
Teresa or Bob, or include us all in an email, so we're all involved in this, so we can all tackle it together.
Or do the C-click fix
Yeah.
that works.
Again, but mine
Yeah.
doesn't work,
Yeah.
so.
It does not work on Androids.
Yeah,
very
it
well.
doesn't work on Androids very well.
It works very well on iPhones, because
I
my
have
husband's done it.
Yep, that's what I have. I have let Ed know.
It doesn't really do it.
So until they can fix that issue, we'll just do it the old-fashioned
Well-
way, email.
Yep, that's right.
We should have a group.
Why
text.
don't the city buy us all the same kind of phone?
I don't need a third phone.
that would be a Nico split
I don't know.
phone.
Hey, we don't even get paid, and you,
Which a lot of people are going back to.
you know.
It'd be one of those jitterbugs.
Yeah, I'll make a motion that we adjourn.
Not yet, not yet.
Before I forget, it was just one more thing. If you look in your email, there was an email that there's a beach master plan on Wednesday, the 8th of May. And when I looked at it, I was the only one.
I'm going the same,
Okay,
you are.
okay.
Yep.
I
Is
don't
that
know
on
if
the
we're going
city
at the
email?
same time.
Yes, it's on the city email.
Mine
It'd
doesn't,
help if you get
Yours
the
doesn't,
system.
okay.
yeah,
I can't get it
mine
either.
cannot make it function.
About half of us can't.
I'm going. on
There's
11.
several different times. There's a sign up.
Okay.
You want me to?
But anyways, it didn't, at that time, there was nobody from the planning commission had, so I just thought I'd bring that up to
Okay,
people.
all right.
About half of us can't get the city email.
Who's it for, Mike?
Think,
I
It's
will,
for the
after
beach
we're done.
master plan.
Who's holding the meeting?
The city,
Is
Well-
this one, I think.
well, I don't know
Well,
if it's the
the-
city
Email.
council, it's,
It's not city.
but it's
No.
it's a plan, it's part of the planning, the pre-planning.
Yeah.
right, that
yeah.
Spicer is working on
Oh,
with the
Spike-
city.
Oh,
Beach
Yep.
master plan stakeholder meeting.
Yep.
okay, yeah, we should be at least part of it.
And Mick, thank you so much for bringing that up, because I forgot, I should have brought that up, yeah.
Just-
Yeah, reminder though, that's good.
Yeah,
Yep.
we should,
Hard to get the invite
somebody
when
should
you
be
email.
part of
She'll
that.
have it reset.
Well,
Ed Brandon said it.
I think you could put them in, right? Because they're having a problem with their getting their access. to
Yeah,
that
they just have
email.
to tell me when, or I can send a separate email.
I have not gotten the city email in a year and a half.
All right.
He
Will
doesn't
not
either.
come through.
I don't,
Okay,
Mark doesn't.
I don't.
He's never gotten them.
Yeah, it just doesn't work.
so,
Okay.
but Teresa's been emailing on my personal email, so.
yep,
would you
I
like-
still do your,
Yes.
Yeah.
to proper channels, I still do to your Manistee always, but yeah.
All right.
Well, with that, it's getting out of control a little bit, so, it is 8:39. I will take a motion to adjourn.
Motion.
Motion.
Second.
Second.